Welcome to Daawaa or our channel, where we delve into the most captivating moments of Islamic history to inspire and enlighten. Today, we take you through the powerful story of the Prophet Muhammad PBUH and the major battles that shaped the Muslim Ummah. In the 7th century, Arabia was a land divided by tribal allegiances, but in the heart of the desert, a man chosen by God began a mission to unite these tribes under the banner of monotheism. This is the story of Prophet Muhammad PBUH and the major battles that shaped the early Muslim Ummah and the course of history itself. Battles fought, lives lost, and ultimately victory at the sacred city of Mecca. When the Prophet Muhammad PBUH migrated to Medina, it wasn't just an escape from persecution in Mecca, it marked the beginning of a new era for the nascent Muslim community. In Medina, the Prophet and his companions found refuge, but they also faced the looming threat of the Quraysh, who sought to destroy this growing movement. The first major confrontation would take place at Badr. The Battle of Badr was more than just a military victory. It was a miraculous moment that changed the course of history. Despite being vastly outnumbered, the Muslims, led by Prophet Muhammad PBUH, fought with courage and faith. Among them was Ali ibn Abi Talib who defeated enemy champions with unmatched bravery, while the Quraysh leader, Abu Jahl, fell, marking the turning point of the battle. This victory not only solidified the Muslims' belief that God was with them, but sent shockwaves through the Arabian Peninsula. The Quraysh, humiliated, would seek revenge. A year later, the Quraysh returned, thirsting for revenge at the Battle of Uhud. Initially, the Muslims gained the upper hand, but a critical mistake changed everything. The archers stationed by the Prophet were ordered not to leave their posts, but when they saw victory on the horizon, they abandoned their position. This opened the way for the Quraysh cavalry, led by Khalid ibn al-Walid, to launch a surprise attack. In this battle, the Prophet's beloved uncle, Hamza ibn Abdul Muttalib was martyred at the hands of a slave named Washi under orders from Hind bint Utbah, the wife of Abu Sufyan. Driven by a deep hatred, Hind sought revenge for the deaths of her father and brother at Badr. In a moment of barbarity, she desecrated Hamza's body, attempting to eat his liver. But this act of vengeance did not extinguish her hatred, it only revealed the darkness that revenge can bring. The Prophet himself was injured in the battle, and in the chaos, some of his companions fled the battlefield. Despite these painful moments, the Prophet gathered those who remained, retreating strategically and maintaining their faith. The Quraysh, undeterred by their past failures, returned again, this time with a massive alliance of tribes. But the Muslims, advised by Salman al-Farsi dug a trench around Medina, an innovative strategy that caught the Quraysh by surprise. Despite being outnumbered, the Muslims held firm, enduring a long siege without allowing the enemy to penetrate their defenses. Abu Sufyan, now leading the Quraysh, was growing increasingly frustrated. After weeks of failure and divisions among the allied tribes, the Quraysh were forced to withdraw. The battle ended without bloodshed, but it showed the resolve of the Muslim community to defend their city and their faith. In a surprising turn of events, the Prophet sought peace with the Quraysh, leading to the Treaty of Hudaybiyah. Although some of the Prophet's companions were disheartened by the terms of the treaty, seeing it as a compromise, it was in fact a strategic victory. This truce allowed Islam to spread peacefully, giving the Muslims time to grow in strength. After years of conflict, the time came for the ultimate victory, the conquest of Mecca. Prophet Muhammad PBUH marched with a large army towards the city that had once exiled and persecuted him. But when he entered Mecca, it was not with vengeance or bloodshed. "There is no blame on you today," the Prophet declared, offering amnesty to the Quraysh, including his greatest enemies. Abu Sufyan, who had led the opposition against the Prophet for years, witnessed the overwhelming power of the Muslim army. He, along with his wife Hind, accepted Islam. Hind, the woman who had once desecrated Hamza's body, stood before the Prophet, asking for forgiveness. The Prophet did not rebuke her but welcomed her into the fold of Islam. This moment of mercy became the defining feature of the conquest of Mecca. It wasn't swords or blood that won the day, but the Prophet's unparalleled compassion and forgiveness. Those who had once feared him were now embracing his message, whether out of genuine faith or fear, and the idols that had been worshipped for generations were destroyed as Mecca finally accepted the oneness of God. The battles fought after the migration to Medina weren't just about victory on the battlefield, they were about faith, patience, and forgiveness. The Prophet Muhammad PBUH showed that even after years of enmity, mercy can open hearts. The conquest of Mecca was the final chapter of this struggle, not marked by revenge but by the light of Islam. The Prophet's legacy lives on as a man who turned enemies into followers, not by force but by his character and message. Thank you for watching. If you found this video insightful, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to our channel for more stories from Islamic history. Let's continue to spread the message of Islam together, one story at a time.